China is making very inexpensive EVs.
They are.
And has better infrastructure for charging.
Yes. And all the trillions of profitability that were taken out of China by the Western OEMs, they were busy thinking about their industry strategically. And they bet on electrification about 10 years ago. And now they make 70% of all electric vehicles in the world are made in one country. They own all the battery processing. You want graphite, you want lithium processed to put in a battery, automotive battery, a nickel, you need to go to China. So they have unique battery chemistry like LFP, iron phosphate, which is half the cost, has no fire risk, and can be charged twice as many cycles. So there's unique IP in China now. So we as a company face a kind of ultimate fitness test on this question of making money on EVs. If we cannot make money on EVs, we have competitors who have the largest market in the world, who already dominate globally, who are already setting up their supply chain around the world. And if we don't make profitable EVs next 5 years, what's the future? We just shrink into North America.
So to talk a little bit more about competition with China, how do you see the Biden administration's tariffs?
Yes. Well, I think it's the answer to that question is very different for each auto company. We do not have a big China business. GM has a huge one. Volkswagen has enormous. I think 60% of Volkswagen's global profit comes from China. So every company has a different exposure. Look, I think the tariffs and the policy decisions that the president has to make quickly will level the playing field. But the biggest issue is those are going to be speed bumps. I mean, we have NAFTA. They're 25% of the Mexican market already, the Chinese. We can all drive to Mexico one day. 1 out of every 4 vehicles sold in Mexico is made by a Chinese company. And they will have enough scale in China to build plants there and export tariff-free to the U.S. That's only a matter of time.
We're talking about concerns about TikTok, but we're talking about...
Forget about Huawei and TikTok. Think about a Chinese vehicle.
And so talk a little bit more about that and this idea of the raw materials that are so essential for the batteries, and also the chips that you need to use.
Yes. 95% of the value of a battery, whether it's in your phone or in a car that's electric, is the raw materials. In an NCM cell, that's cobalt, nickel, and lithium. You can mine it, but you have to be processed. You also need graphite to make a battery. So those 4 essential materials, plus the rare earths to make the magnets to go in your electric motor, all have to come from somewhere.